Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hammer Podcast. Today is March 9th, 2021, and I'm speaking with Trey. Trey went to the Agape Boys Ranch from 2012 to 2016. He's here to give his story today. Trey, I'm going to turn it over to you. Just go ahead and start with, why you went there. Okay.
Hey, what's going on? So I went there 2012 to 2016.
Oh, 2016. Did I say 2015? I meant 2016.
Oh, it's no big deal.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I went there right after I got kicked out of military school. I was smoking weed. I was selling weed and shit. And yeah, I think I ran away because I was scared of what was going to happen. Since I got caught selling and smoking weed. So, so basically, I tried to run away to Colorado for some reason. And, then I got caught and somebody recognized me and the dude that I ran away with. And, they caught us. They took us to the police station. They held us there for a little bit. And then the school police came to pick us up. And we waited at the school police station until my parents got there, or my dad and my stepmom. And they basically took me to a hotel. We stayed there a night. And then they said, "You're going to a new school." I thought I was just going to go home or whatever. And so I was like, whatever, at this point, I don't really care, I'll just check this place out. And I looked at the ticket and it said Missouri. And I was kind of thinking, what the hell is in Missouri? There's nothing in Missouri. Why am I going to this place? And they wouldn't answer any of my questions. So, And so I just kind of went along with it. We were both we were both angry at each other. We said some choice words at each other, but I just kind of went along with it. I didn't think there was any kind of school like this out there. So I thought boarding school is just, you go there and you have normal privileges like normal high school students, but right. That was definitely not the case.
Kind of like a juvenile facility, basically, were you?
Pretty much. For people, I heard it was for court-ordered students too, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I didn't think that these places were actually out there, though. I thought it was just strictly those court-ordered students that would go here. So, yeah, so I got here, and it kind of looked nice in the front, It looked like a normal boarding school, I guess. And then, so I went in to this room and I sat down, and there was, I think it was Scott Smith. There was a couple students. I think Joe, I'm not going to say his last name.
Yep.
But Joe, I think Columbo was there too, I think. I'm not too sure, but and then there was somebody else, and then there's Julio. And Julio, he it looked like just the short, roided out Mexican dude. It did. Yeah. And so I was going what the hell's going on here? Why is this dude there looking at me like he wants to kill me? He wants to do something to me. And I'm like, this place is it's a little weird, why is this weird, fat, gay looking dude, Scott, I said his
That's okay, go ahead.
Last name.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So Scott, Julio, Colombo, and Joe, they're sitting there, and me, my dad, and my stepmom sit down in that room, and they close the door, and Julio like slams it, to try to intimidate me.
Okay.
Um, he just he was just on his little roid rampage kind of thing to intimidate a little 14-year-old, for some reason.
Yeah.
But so I'm going like, what is this? What kind of school is this? This is weird. And so I don't really remember too much that happened, but pretty much I remember that they ran into a problem with this contract. And this is pretty good stuff that might help take the school down. I'm not sure. But ran into a problem with this contract. There was a problem with legal guardian, ownership of the child, And of course, my real mom wasn't in the picture because my dad kept me from my real mom and all this stuff, crazy stuff. It's another story too.
Okay.
But they ran into the problem. They were like, oh, well, what are we going to do about this legal guardian thing? His mom's not here. And my stepmom said, oh, well, I'm the mom. And Scott was like, no, you're not the mom. And she was like, okay, well, I'll try to like fake the signature or something. Like, we'll do something. And they did, obviously, because I got accepted.
Right.
They saw what they could do, and then like somehow managed to forge my mom's signature.
Well, was your dad and were they married?
They were married, yes.
Then it should have been legal if they were married.
Yeah, but it has to be like your legal guardian, both of them,
okay.
Because my biological mom had no idea about it.
Okay.
And there was just a bunch of messed up stuff. I'm pretty sure your biological mom and dad, if they have a part in your life, are supposed to know about it legally.
Or unless one of the parents are deceased or something
Right.
like that. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that might be an issue. It might not be. I'm not sure. But I'm good with my mom now. I talked to her, and she's pretty livid that I went to this school. And yeah, it's pretty bad, the whole situation. My mom's not a bad person. She was just kept out of my life. And the school actually kind of helped with that too, because they were in a legal contract with my dad and all this stuff about,
right.
To keep me away from my mom. And so they really don't care. Now, I'm a big example of this. They really don't care about mending your family's relationship, because if they really did, then they would have let me talk to my real mom. And
right.
I even asked Brother Graves about that. I asked him, I'm like, can I talk to my real mom, And he said, absolutely not. And I'm like, why is that? Why can't I talk to my mom? And he just said something like along the lines about your dad doesn't want you talking to your mom or something like that. And it's pretty crazy how that stuff happens.
Right.
But yeah, anyways, let me see if there's questions flowing in, because I know I put something up.
So is there a question?
Julio doesn't get enough smoke on these podcasts. What's some things you experienced, witnessed with him? Oh yeah, okay, so we'll go over that.
Go ahead.
We'll do that. Let's see here. That's fine. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so where was I at? The intake phase. All right, so yeah, we walked down to the intake room. It seemed like all a happy place until they took me away, And once they took me away, Julio and the students, the place kind of turned a little different, just the way everybody was talking. Like, it's kind of like just a big mask, up in front of the parents and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, it's completely different here. What's going on? And they gave me a tour of the school. Looked like a damn prison, It was crazy. Went down to the intake room. There was this big, fat dude sitting in the corner eating this stir-fry stuff. I don't know. And it was Brother Wilkie, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
My stay with him, it was okay. I never really had any big problems with him. He was just really lazy. That's the one thing that I noticed about him. And we would always have to do things for him. And it was just really annoying. And all the students would say, like, hurry the fuck up, you fat fuck. Just get it yourself, And, but it's like, I don't know. That dude, I never really had any big problems with him because he just sat there and he was just really lazy. So, but yeah, so I went in there, and Julio gave me a haircut, I remember, and I think he made me like strip and stuff, how you have to strip for
right.
Strip search for Agape and stuff. Made you squat. Everybody's making jokes about it, some weird fucking nasty jokes about it, and when Julio was giving me a haircut, he'd fucking smack me on the back of the head and, do shit like that. He would turn around just every now and then he would turn around the brush, you like, he would turn it around and just smack me on the head,
He completely shaved it off.
Yeah, completely shaved everything off,
Right.
Like it was the military. I went in the military. I'll explain that later on though. But it was just kind of a surreal experience. It's like going in the excuse me, into the military. I got a cold this last week. Yeah, it was kind of like going in the military. But it was a little bit more, I don't know. It was different. Like, I'm going to be in this place for a long ass time kind of feeling. And I was a pretty damn small kid. So going in there, I weighed maybe like 120, 130 pounds, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was these big dudes in there, and I was just kind of like, I just didn't want to get the shit beat out of me, because I always, every day I would wake up and I would see these people getting the shit beat out of them. And I was like, damn, dude, I don't want to piss any of these guys off because, like, I ain't trying to, like, go around a corner one day and get the shit rocked out of me. So I just kind of, for a while, I kind of kept to my shit. And I think one of the first couple days I tried to, like, I don't know, go to the hospital or something and try to, like, run away and stuff. You know how, like, the first couple days you have your runaway plots. You're like, oh, I'm going to get out of this place.
A little homesick, kind of a little anxiety.
Yeah. And so, especially since you're around some of these weird people, like, especially the staff members, man, it's weird, like, being a part of this 9-time-a-week church thing with locked doors, and, it's the same thing every day. It's kind of like, it sucks, man. It really does. And it just, I don't know, for me, it just made me want to just sit over in the corner and just kind of mind my business. And, but yeah, so the first couple of weeks I was there, I seen some of the most crazy shit. People getting slammed and people getting in fights and shit. I think the most significant fights that I remember was his name was Jones. He was a big black dude. He seemed like a genuine person. I'd like to meet him again. I don't know where he's at or anything, but um, seemed like a really genuine person. And something happened where somebody was racist or something, and said something to him, and he like beat the living crap out of this dude. Was slamming this dude's head in the ground and stuff.
Wow.
And there was a bunch of fights going on that day at the same time. And so, like, I think about 200, like 300 students were in the same squad bay, which, if you know what a squad bay is, it's a company full of people or something like that. And that's maybe like 50 people. Well, like, the whole student body is in this squad bay now because this fight's going on, and then all these other fights are going on, and then all these staff members are slamming students, and I'm just like, what the hell is this place, you know? And
Yeah.
like, I thought the Jones dude, he was just like just slamming his head. There's blood everywhere, and I was like, bro, what the hell, man? And I was like, dude, get off of him. You're gonna freaking kill him. And there was a couple people behind me thinking that I was gonna try to beat the crap out of Jones while he was getting restrained and shit. And so they were telling me like, oh, dude, I was about to beat the shit out of you. And I'm like, no, dude, like the dude was literally gonna kill him. Like I could see his eyes like rolling in the back of his head. He was about to like just straight up, yeah, it was crazy.
He was pissed, yeah.
Yeah, so he went, the white dude went to the hospital, I think, and then Jones ended up getting kicked out. That was probably one of the craziest fights that I saw there.
The staff didn't try to restrain him or anything?
Say what?
The staff didn't try to restrain him?
Oh, they were. There was like 3 staff on him, and like that's why everything was going crazy, is because they only have a limited amount of staff members down there. So
Right.
they were like going after this one thing because this dude's big and like he needs multiple staff members to hold him down. And so all these other stuff was going on because that's what was planned. You know, some students, they plan these big things where it wasn't like riots, but there's just multiple fights going on all at once. And, you know, since the staff members can't, you know, fully get to all of them at the same time, you'll be able to beat the shit out of this one dude, you know, for longer amounts of time and stuff. So, but it was just a crazy, I don't know. I just stayed to my business. Yeah, so I think, but anyways, let's go over the first month I was there.
Okay.
I had a very hard time there. I didn't like the whole church thing, you know.
Who does?
I didn't like, you know, nobody did, you know.
Yeah.
Bible reading every day for 30 minutes before you ate. So like you ate, or you got up, you got dressed, you did your thing, you know, and then you went upstairs and you read your Bible. You sat there for 30 minutes and you had a little sheet or not a sheet, they had these little projectors that would project Bible reading versus whatever you had to read for that day or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would project that every day, and if you did that for the whole year, you would have read your Bible. And so I never did that. I just kind of like stuck to what I thought I needed to read. And I'm still a Christian, but I'm not a independent fundamental Baptist. So
It would have surprised me if you were.
yeah, like who the hell wants to be? I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane. It is a cult. So
Definitely.
but yeah, you know, I have my personal relationship with God and everything, so that hasn't been affected by Agape. I will say that I haven't gone to church since. I mean, I have, but I think I went one time, and then I ended up not even staying there for the full service. I just couldn't do it, because of just the way Agape
A
was.
little too fresh in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just all the facade they put up, everything I've seen. But yeah, this place, I don't know. Yeah, they would make you read your Bible in the morning, and then you would have, it was either pancakes or cereal in the morning, and then on Friday you had French toast maybe, and then Saturday you'd have Saturday morning breakfast, and then Sunday you'd have like a little tiny bowl of cereal, with a little carton of milk, and yeah, it sucked. But
What shirt color were you?
in the beginning I was so I was like orange and yellow for a while. I stayed yellow for a long time, because I don't know, I kept doing stupid shit. Like I drew like weed leaves and stuff like that. I was just being stupid. I would say stupid things sometimes, because I just thought it was stupid. Like this place is fucking retarded,
Yeah.
and so I would just be stupid like that. And so finally, I kind of just shut up and I got my gray shirts and I just kept going. But so yeah, with Pratt. So he was my guide for a little bit. We did not get along. I'm pretty sure he fucked with me a little bit when I was sleeping. I'm pretty sure they put pubes in my mouth and stuff like that. And no hard feelings. We were fucking little teenagers, whatever. We do that kind of shit, and I'm pretty sure I got on people's nerves, and he got on my nerves, and at some point I think we got into an argument or something, and I wasn't going to do his push-ups or some shit, so there was this dude named Darren. He's dead now, so I'll just say his name. He was one of my really good friends there, Darren Mark. So he saw that I was kind of struggling and everything, and so he picked me up. And after I was his buddy, everything started to go a little bit smoother. Somebody there actually kind of cared about me, because it seemed like nobody gave a shit about me when I was there,
Yeah.
And it's like whatever, it didn't really matter that much that nobody cared about me. The fact of the matter is that I was scared to get the shit beat out of me. That's what was the problem, because I wouldn't know what would happen. It would just, all of a sudden there would be a fight that just broke out, and motherfuckers are getting slammed and going to the intake room, and I wouldn't see this motherfucker for like maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He'd be stuck down in this damn padded room. And I'd be like, what did the dude do? Like this dude was talking shit and he beat the shit out of him. So what? And they would just, I don't know. It seemed like the staff members really looked to go slam somebody.
Oh yeah.
And
They're sadists, man. They take absolute pleasure in it.
yeah,
Doing that
yeah.
stuff. Oh yeah.
And I did go to Browntown for a little bit. I'm getting to that though. So so I started working hard. I did sink side for a long time, and then I pretty much got up to working in the kitchen, and I was told by one of the students, because I like, before I kind of like to get a little high, here and there. And I'm pretty sure every one of the students there wanted to get high in some sort of way.
Sure.
And so there was this kitchen spray. And somebody told me if you if you turn it upside down and you inhale it, you get like a crazy buzz. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I did that, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna take this to the dorm or whatever, and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna like share it with people around me, because that's kind of how the mentality of that school. It's like we're all in the shit, like if you got something, share it with everybody, And so that's what I did, and I guess somebody found out, and it was the dude that Cody Canifax, it was the dude that was being weird with him. Remember that Oscar dude?
Yeah.
It was him that caught me, and they took me down to Browntown for, I think, 2 weeks. So I went with Julio for a while, so I saw what happened in Browntown, and it was crazy, man. Like, Julio would just go on these steroid rants, like start slamming people, and some of those kids did need that kind of stuff because they did have a really bad attitude. But to be honest, though, the way Julio did it, I don't think a little kid should go through that.
Right.
He might need to be yelled at, corrected,
Yeah, if it's
maybe take
something
the girl.
petty, just discipline him, yell at him or whatever, but don't slam him.
Yeah,
You know?
don't. Yeah, there's little kids that would get like, man, or Julio would turn his back, and the students would beat the shit out of this little kid, because there was those annoying little kids that would go there, and they would just do everything to push everybody's button. Their voice was annoying, and so Julio would, let these students pick on him, and there would be some fighting that we would do. Julio would let people fight and stuff, which sometimes that was cool, because some students needed to have that. In my opinion, like, that's a good way to get, aggression out, and it's just to be friends after.
Yeah, release the
And-
tension. Yeah.
Right. So there are pluses that Julio's done, but most of the stuff, though, I've noticed that he really does like to fucking pick on little kids, and it's really disturbing what he's done. I've seen him slam kids. There's Barnell, Jeremiah, this little kid. There's just little, one of the dudes just actually died. Joe Vieira, everybody would pick on his ass. But he'd get slammed all everywhere and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy. Browntown, you would, if you got lucky, you get Browntown in the summer, because running around and, shitty little prison slides and stuff like that wasn't so bad when it was hot outside. But when it was cold, they didn't care.
Were you ever those Agape Airs, those shoes without the tongues?
So no, I wasn't. But I did have some buddies that, when I was a burgundy shirt, I did have buddies that needed those, and it's pretty funny. The way it was, they would just cut the tongue out of it, and they'd be like slopping around. You could hear them just walking and stuff. It was funny, man.
Were your pocket
Yeah, so-
were your pockets cut out? Your pants pockets?
Yeah, so you actually wore prison scrubs, like real
Okay.
prison scrubs.
Prison
Yeah.
scrubs. Okay.
I don't know how. I don't know how the school got that stuff. I'm pretty sure it was Clemenson. I heard he was a highway patrol or something like that. So, but yeah. So my first 2 years there was pretty, pretty basic. Like, everybody does that stuff, and there were people that were, sneaking stuff in and whatever. But like I said, I really didn't pay attention early on in the stages because I was just minding my own business, was doing my thing, and then finally I started to just kind of move up in the program, and this is where it started to get interesting. So after I went down, I came back up. I was burgundy again. I started, wanting to. I was a little bit more mature, and I started to, do my thing or whatever, clean in sink side again. I would just work my ass off, and I would do my schoolwork like I was supposed to, because there's really no other way you could do it. I mean, I wasn't snitching on people or anything. I was just kind of like staying quiet, kind of conforming, I guess. And I started to get brainwashed at some point. And, but I was reading my Bible a lot, and I was just kind of sticking to that, and knowing that one day that, at some point, I think I figured out, I got to the top. I was blue shirt, and I did something on my last visit where I was like stealing cigarettes or something. And so I didn't have a visit for a while. And things.
Did they knock you? Did they knock you down a couple of shirt colors for that?
What's weird is they didn't actually knock me down shirt colors for that, since it was kind of like an off-campus thing.
Oh, okay.
So, but I did stay burgundy for a while, a little bit longer than I wanted to. But after a while of just kind of sticking to my own thing, I started working my way up, and I'm like, I kind of got sent here for a reason. So, maybe I should just kind of steer away from, weed and stuff like that, and smoking cigarettes and, drinking and all that stuff. So, and I was like already into that at 14 going there. So, I mean, I kind of needed to go somewhere, but Agape is probably not the place that,
no,
not the ideal place, but I needed to go somewhere. So, so after that, I just kind of like reset, I guess you could say. And I started moving up in program and all that stuff. I got to blue shirt, went home a couple times, and at this point, it's been like 2 years, since I've been there. It's been a long time. And I was in the ranch program. I started to do the rodeo a lot. I started to do all the horse stuff. And so after, I think, one of my visits, this is where it started to get crazy. And this is where I started to not give a fuck. So I got to this point where I think I was on a visit, or I got a phone call, and I was supposed to be going to this other school, and it was a piece of shit school, and I think it was Mississippi. And it was like in the hood. You could hear gunshots going off and shit. And my parents were going to send me here. My dad was going to send me here. And I was like, what the hell? But that's cool. They had like a shooting range and everything. And they had a pond to fish out of. And you could do that on your own on the weekend. And instead of staying in a room with 300 plus students, you were staying in a room with one roommate,
Right.
And so I was like, this is a nice little upgrade, so I'm going to do this. But then that place ended up getting shut down for some reason. And so my parents had to go through Scott to, because he was the admin guy. They had to go through him to see what our options were, as far as keeping me there, getting me home, blah, blah, blah. Of course, they're going to talk about keeping me there.
Of course.
Because that place is revolved around money.
Money, yes.
And, so I got the horrible news of staying there. And I'm not sure if I already got demoted from this one thing that Brother Leo did or not. But I'll just talk about that in a second.
Okay.
So I was all disappointed, and I think I did get demoted, and I was back down to like burgundy or something for something really dumb. I'll just say it right now. So, I went over to the vitamin cabinet, and Brother Leo was always trying to get me in trouble. For some reason, he had something out for me. There's something, maybe he had something out for people that worked on the ranch. I don't know why. I don't know what his problem was. And many of the staff members that worked on the ranch had a problem with this guy too. So I know it wasn't just me. He would always give me problems. Somebody told me that I could go take some of their vitamins. And it's not like I was trying to get high or anything, because it's fucking vitamins,
yeah.
Right? And so I went over there to get the vitamins. And he yelled at me, like, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm just getting this guy's vitamins. He said I could have some. And I'm a blue shirt, so I can pretty much, I can come over here. Like, I
Right.
accompany students over here to get their vitamins. I'm the one responsible most of the time. So it's like, why can't I just go get some vitamins from some dude that said I could have some? So went over there to go get it. He yelled at me, and I said, look, this is what happened. And he's like, all right, I'm dropping you down to Burgundy. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, you lied to me. And I said, no, I didn't. And I guess he coerced the student into saying that he didn't let me get his vitamins or something like that.
Well, of course, he probably told him he was either going to do push-ups or go to Browntown or something like that. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
like the dude just got done saying that I could do that, So I know there was something like either that dude is trying to fuck me over or whatever, but he was one of my friends, so I don't think he did, but whatever. Anyways, so I got demoted. There was like shirt colors the next day, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And nobody could really, do anything about it, so I just wore the shirt, whatever. And then I found out about that I was staying there until I was 18.
Oh.
And then, Scott knew about everything, and I think it was on like a Wednesday or Sunday or something. And I was like in my suit, and I guess they got off the phone with him telling him that I was going to stay, or that they were going to tell me that I was staying there until I was 18. And so he was there, like perfect timing. He's like, oh, it's okay. I'm going to take you to this PR, it's public relations. That's what they call it, where they take you out in town and you do these events for Agape, and you represent Agape, and you have the burgundy shirt on or whatever, And so we went to this air show, which, by the way, I'm a big aviation fan. I love aviation. And so he was like, I'm going to take you to this. You're going to help me out. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to take you up in a helicopter. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. This is cool. But I was also really pissed at this guy. And I was like, I'm not going to let this go because I know this dude. Kept me here until I was 18, There's no way that he told my parents that I shouldn't stay here, No way. So we got done with all that stuff, everything's cool. And I started to be trusted more, and I started to play this game. But deep down inside, I was like, fuck this place. This place is fake. This is bullshit. My dad's fake. My stepmom's fake. All this is bullshit,
Yeah.
So I started to play the game. I started to focus on what I should do when I get out of this place. And, how I should pretty much move on by myself. Because I knew after all this stuff, I was going to pretty much tell my dad to fuck off, and I was going to go in the military, and I was going to do all this stuff. I already had all this stuff planned out, and so I started to do good again, just kind of ride my stay out, graduate as soon as possible so I can go to boot camp. But along this road to doing that, I started talking to women. And in the kitchen, because I got trust again. I was blue shirt. Once again, I was blue shirt twice. And so at some point I was doing this rodeo thing, and I was getting a lot of attention from all the women there. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but there were women that were looking at me, and it was really weird. Staff members, wives,
Right.
daughters there. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll go in the kitchen because I want to talk to these girls, I've been dying to talk to girls.
Of course.
You're
a guy. I mean,
right? So there was this one girl that was there that really caught my attention. It was her name was Trista, And yeah, so I basically I started to try to talk to her through the kitchen, and yeah, so sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's any questions on there, but I'm diving into this more pretty much because I know everybody wants to know this more than all my other experiences at Agape.
Oh,
So
that's
just kind of putting all that other stuff to the side, it's pretty boring compared to what I'm going to talk about now, though.
okay.
So, all right. So at this time, I'm really deep in the ranch program. I'm doing my thing, and I also am good with Brother Cleveland. I've done a lot of work with him. He trusted me a lot, and I was good with Scott. He trusted me. Brother Lopez, the kitchen guy, he trusted me. I started to gain all this trust from everybody. So it allowed me to do a lot more there. And I think that's probably the best thing that I would tell any student that was there for 4 years. Just ride the program out and get trust from everybody, and you'll pretty much be able to do whatever you want. So I was good with the kitchen staff, and this blonde-haired chick, Trista, came in, and I've been seeing her for the past couple years, and I asked myself, damn, who's this girl? She's really pretty, and I see her work in the kitchen every single time, and so I'm like, this time, I'm gonna talk to her, and at this point, I did have a friendship with Anna, and so it made it a lot easier to talk to her about Trista. And I found out that she was related to Trista, and I was like, okay, this is going to be really easy. And she seemed she seemed really cool to me. Everybody seemed to enjoy me being around. They liked that I was, this cowboy guy. I don't know. It was weird, but yeah. So I was really nice to people, and in the kitchen and everything. And so, like I said, I was getting all this trust, and so she noticed that I liked Trista, and Trista also told Anna that she had a thing for me. So we started passing notes in the kitchen, and after that we exchanged numbers, and I think she left, and somehow let's see, oh yeah, so
what were in the notes?
damn, I think she might still have them actually, but I hope she does, because it's pretty good evidence for anybody that wants to know. But I'm not going to say her last name.
That's fine.
But if you know her, you know her. If you want to know about these notes, she is actually married now, though, and she has a kid with somebody else. So I probably wouldn't be asking her about that. And this is also a disclaimer, by the way. This story, all this stuff is not to get back at Scott. This is not intended for that. This is solely for these students that have gone through a hard time. Maybe they want to have closure on this. Maybe they want to know these facts about what happened or whatever. Maybe have a good laugh instead of be depressed and want to kill yourself. This is your outlet right here, the Hammer Podcast. I hope you're getting a laugh from this. And you're getting closure also at the same time, because this is also my closure with this school. I'm moving on to great things, actually. I can't wait what life has for me. But yeah, so just a disclaimer before I get into all this juicy drama. And I'm not a drama person. So before I start saying all this, I'm really not into drama. So it took me a long time to think about this. But all right. Anyways, let's get into this. So Trista, we started passing notes, got her numbers, whatever, or I got her number. But at some point I had to figure out a different way to pass notes other than the kitchen, because Anna didn't work in the kitchen all the time. So I would think I had this job, and it's called the foyer. They put these vending machines in there. It was just a little room before you enter the dining hall. It's I don't know. It's a weird. It's hard to explain, but the front doors. Yeah, okay. So if you look at the front doors at Agape, it's this little tiny. It's not a little tiny door, but it's like this little door on the side that goes into the dining hall. If you've ever been through that door, you know there's a little room in there and everything. And so I was responsible for cleaning that room. And it made it really easy for me to sneak things in the school, pass notes, do all this other stuff. And um, so I ended up getting a routine with Anna of going in the foyer. And I communicated that to her, I think, as soon as I got the job and we were in the kitchen one week. And I was like, hey, I got this job at the foyer. This is going to make it a lot easier for us to communicate. So let's do it this way. And so at a set time every day, I would be responsible for cleaning this place. And so she would come at that set time. I would give her the note. We would exchange a couple words, and then she would go about doing her business. And this was while I didn't have a phone. And so eventually, this former student came back. His name was Luigi. And so I had a pair of really nice bull hide boots. They were double stitched. I got it from this store in Springfield on a visit or some shit. I don't know. They were really nice boots. I would wear them to church sometimes. And he wanted these boots. He's wanted them ever since he was at that school. And so he was like, look, I'll give you this iPhone 3, I think. It was an iPhone 3G or some shit like that. And with the charger and some headphones for those boots. And I was like, sick, dude. Like, let's do it. And
Deal.
somehow I snuck that phone in, and it was cool. You know, everything was good. And then, so I was going about talking to Trista, and then I also got Anna's number. And so we would talk, we would talk about everything, how is everything going in the school. And then me and Anna started talking a little bit more about personal stuff, like marriage problems and stuff like that. And, she felt like that I was one of the only ones that she could talk to, apparently, which is kind of weird. And then, how stuff, long distance relationships, high school fucking relationships go.
Yeah.
It's never going to work. So we didn't end up working out, but then me and Anna would continue to text each other. And, along this time, I'm in my junior to senior year of high school, I think. I think I was just finishing up my junior year at this point. And yeah, so I was like 16, 17, and me and Anna started talking, and I think at some point we hugged each other in the foyer or something like that, and there was no need for her to come by anymore, but she kept coming by and we would talk, and so after a while, she started having marriage problems, like I said, like even worse. And then she got caught stealing at this one place. And so for a while, she stopped talking to me. And she stopped coming by. And I was like, what's the deal? And she said, I went to jail. Wow. And yeah, so she ended up trying to steal something at this convenience store. Or Walmart, or I have no idea, but it was getting juicy for me, I got a hug from her every day. That was pretty cool, that was, she was not the most pleasant to look at, but at least I was getting attention from
a female,
a 26-year-old female, and that was great. And it was also Scott's wife. So this is kind of started brewing in my mind, like let's get some revenge, and while you're at it, let's, maybe get laid or something. So, yeah, so time started going on. We kept talking. Erwin came to the school. He was another former student. He came to visit. We traded phones, and I got his little Android or something like that. And then I don't know, he left or whatever. And then I let some of my friends use this phone, or friends, so-called friends.
Right.
And while I was letting these friends use my phone, they were plotting to steal it from me. And so they ended up stealing my phone while I was taking a shower. And they knew my routine. I had the same routine. I would leave it in the bag in the certain corner. So somebody went by and stole it. And it was the friend in my bay, actually, that was planning this stuff too. And so, yeah, he ended up stealing it. And then it was starting to get kind of sketchy anyways, because everybody was using this phone. It was kind of like, so eventually I got another phone snuck in by Anna from via Lopez, the kitchen staff.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Dick Pick himself. All right.
So Dick Pick, what happened there? What?
Oh, he was sending dick pics to some of the Refuge of Grace girls.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. No way. Are you serious?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
seemed like a pretty okay dude.
Well,
I guess not. Damn.
according to Colton Schrog, he was playing with a baby carrot. But continue your story.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
Yes.
I got some juicy stuff about him too. So
Okay.
supposedly,
Allegedly. Yes.
allegedly. So yeah. So he was cool about certain things. There was another former student that I was friends with that snuck dip in for me, and Brother Lopez actually snuck the former.
You're breaking up, Trey. Uh-oh.
You're still there? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
glitched a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So he put it in my, in a sock or something. He did the same exact thing as he did with the dip. So he just kind of put it in my locker or whatever. Everything was fine. And so yeah, I was friends with him too. But Anna told me some stuff about him. I don't know if it's true, like I said, but they kind of had a thing in the kitchen. I don't know if that's true. I'm not really too sure, because she does lie about a lot of stuff. But I also heard that there's been a lot of staff members' wives that were doing things with other students, and that it wasn't just me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
This was just known. I don't know who was having relationships. I do know of one person that actually did have a sexual relationship with Anna after I left. That was a student. So, actually a couple maybe. I don't know. But I know of one, though, specifically that actually did happen. But anyways, yeah, so we got past that point. I got a phone again. Anna got me a phone. Everything's cool. And we communicated by notes again. So I just told her, hey, like, I need a phone, and she bought me one, did it that way and all that good stuff. And I think I got a vape with it too. So yeah, I got some kind of I got vape refills, whatever I wanted from Anna. So she would, I think one Valentine's Day she even left me like chocolate or some shit. Like, she was leaving me all this stuff, and it was crazy, man. Like, she would leave me whatever the fuck I wanted. And So it felt great, especially the last year that I was there. Everything started to kind of come together, and I finally was able to get some, but the first time we did anything, we planned it out, and we were talking about like kissing each other and stuff. And yeah, she was on board with it. She's like, okay, I'm gonna feel bad because I'm married, but whatever. And so I think the first time we did anything was up in the pantry. It was up in the pantry, and basically we started making out, and then I like went to go put my hand down there, and it was like a big bush, and it was. It just, let's just say, I'm not gonna go into detail, but it just wasn't pleasant. And
Okay.
because you have to like check before you do
Sure.
anything. And so, and I was like, maybe not this time, but I'll let you know why. And so I told her, I'm like, you gotta take care of that shit down there. Like, you gotta shave it, you gotta do all that stuff, you gotta clean it. Like, this is important.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna do that shit, if you don't do that, And she ended up doing that, and for a while we were trying to plan it out, like how we were gonna do it, and she wanted me to graduate before I did.
Oh, you're glitching again, Trey. There you go.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So
Just when it's getting good, all of a sudden you start glitching.
Yeah, I know, it's bullshit. Maybe Scott's hacking into my Wi-Fi or something. But anyways, so yeah, so we ended up kind of like making a plan to. I was trusted to. I don't know. At some point, I was trusted. No, actually, no. Never mind. Trying to think. Oh yeah. Okay. So we had this perfect plan for going down into the old. No, not the old intake room, but it was okay. So you know where the rec center? Well, no, you don't know where it is. So there's this rec center. Then there's the intake room, and then there's this door that divides everything from the student body to Sunday school classrooms and that side of the church and everything. It was basically like an underside of the church, and you'd walk upstairs and it'd be a church. So there were some Sunday school classrooms and everything. We planned it out. During free time, I was going to go into the bathroom. I was going to turn my phone on, text her, and be like, hey, we're in free time. I'm able to meet up. And so I said, open the door in like 2 minutes. I'll be down there in a second. And so I turned the phone off, hit it. Everything's good. I had a certain way of hiding it. And so I walked downstairs. It was right there, and then I got let out, and we would sneak into the Sunday school classroom. So she would have to open the door, and it was like a push to open on the outside, but it was a maglock where I was from, on the outside. Right. So she opened the door. I would get out. We would sneak in the Sunday school classroom. We'd do our thing. We did that for a while. I think it was for maybe like 3 months, 2 months, something like that. Almost every weekend, like every Saturday, Sunday.
And she kept it all nice and shaved and everything for you, huh?
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna play around with anything that was dirty, unshaved, nothing. I told her that. So at least she could do that for me, and so she did. And I think the reason why we got caught was one day we didn't plan this out like we usually did. It wasn't foolproof like our other plan. And we were both working in the kitchen, and we were like, let's go up in the pantry and like do a quickie. But it wasn't quick. And so everybody was wondering where the fuck we were. And so she came down first. We were like, okay, you got to come down first, and then I'll come down like way later. And so they were all wondering, like, where's Trey? Where's Trey? Where's Trey? And I came down after too, and they were like, so you and Anna were both up there. And I was like, nah, I just denied it the whole time. But Graves had an office over in the corner, and he saw everything. So, but he can't prove it. He couldn't prove it because I came down like 5 minutes later.
Right.
So it's like, you can't prove it, but and then the next day, I think it was in the morning or some shit, I went to just go do the normal routine to go work in the kitchen. And Lopez said, hey, you can't be in here anymore. And you know why. And I'm like, very well. Okay, then. And so from that point on, I couldn't really do anything. It was in the school. I think I was a burgundy. I don't know what happened. I got dropped down to burgundy again. I don't know. Oh, wait. I know why. Sorry.
All right.
It was for cheating on Spanish. So I was trying to get my schoolwork done. I cheated on Spanish maybe like, I think it was twice. And I did Spanish 1, and all that stuff was good. And I did all my credits. Everything was good. The only thing I had to do was Spanish 2 to get college prep and get a valedictorian. But I ended up not doing that. So I think the teacher of the section, I forgot who it was. I think it was Rarick. Yeah. It was the old man Rarick. He talked to Brother Altar, which was the principal, into just giving me a regular diploma, and then that I would go work on the ranch. And so that's what I did pretty much the rest of the time I was there. Anna was no longer allowed on
I was gonna say you never heard from her
campus.
again. Okay.
Yeah, and I was just texting her and everything, and they would frequently search me at that school from that point on. And they were trying to find a phone because Scott, I think he caught her texting a number or something, and it was me, of course. And he read through the text, and he found out it was me. But it's so hard to prove that a student is texting your wife when it's an Agape student, And so it's kind of like you go to Mr. Clemenson and all these people, and you tell them like, oh, he's texting my wife, and they're like, bullshit. Okay, let's search him. And so one morning they tried to search me, and I had my phone on me. I did, because I used it every night in the dorm, and I had a specific spot with the charger, everything. And so they told me to come up front, and they pulled my bag out, and they literally searched everything. But then there was this one sock where I kept everything in there. And somehow I grabbed the sock and I put it right behind me, and I kind of leaned on either a bed or a door or something. And then they were like, yep, you're clean, you're good. And I don't know, I really don't know how they didn't see me grab that. I have no idea. But I grabbed it and I got it, and everything was good. And so they never were able to find a phone on me. But they were always accusing me of it. Even Julio, he was like, I see you, you motherfucker. Like, you're always looking at, my wife. Like, you better stay the fuck away from my wife. I'm telling you. And he was all scared about it.
Is that how he said it?
When the staff weren't around, he would talk like that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how, I don't know if that's how he is now, but, yeah, so, yeah, there'd be stuff like that, but then there was this one thing that happened that was crazy. I never thought this would have happened, but it's crazy. I got called into Mr. Clemenson's office.
Oh boy.
And Scott was sitting there, Jackson was sitting there, and I think that was it, actually. But all those dudes were sitting in there, and they started to ask me questions about Anna. Mm-hmm. And they were like, so, we know you have a phone in here. We don't know where it is. And we know you're talking to Anna. So, where is it? We're searching your stuff right now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't have a phone. You're not going to find it. And so they kept pressuring me. Then Scott ended up coming in, and I think Brother Clemenson, the old dude that owns the place,
Right.
he was in there. And he was like, all right, Scott, you have your chance to ask him questions and talk to him. And so Scott was like, so have you done anything with my wife? And I'm like, no. And he's like, have you touched her at all? And I was like, no. Have you done this? And I was like, no. I'm going to keep saying no. It doesn't matter if I've done it or not. I'm going to keep saying no. I'm not answering your questions. And Brother Clemenson said, all right, Scott, get out of my office now. And Scott was like, sir, I have so many questions to ask him, and I know he did it. I have text proof right here. And he's like, Scott, get out of my office right now. And I'm like, damn, okay.
Well, he had the text messages,
Mm-hmm.
but when Anna texted you or you texted her, you never used your name.
No,
Okay.
we had our little code word
There you go.
that we would use. Yeah.
Smart thinking.
And yeah, so names weren't used, nothing. We had our little code word, and I would actually change numbers too, pretty frequently. So he could never really actually get a full conversation. But he did have some pretty damn graphic phone conversations that were talking about us having sex. But yeah, so we saw that. He knew everything was going on. And so shit started to get real, and Anna got kicked out pretty much. She wasn't really allowed anywhere near the students whatsoever. They ended up getting a divorce. And yeah, everybody ended up like moving out of there. And yeah, so shit started to get crazy from that point on. I wasn't trusted at all. The only thing I was trusted to do was on the ranch, and I appreciate that to the staff members. They trusted me, regardless of what I was going through. And yeah.
Well, they had no
So I
proof.
ended up.
They had no proof. You know what
They
I
had
mean?
no
That it was you. I mean, they
right.
had proof that something was going on, but they had no proof it was you.
Exactly.
So,
Hmm. And I was 16, 17 at the time too. So if anybody was getting in trouble, it was Anna, because I wasn't an adult. So yeah, so that's pretty much like what happened with my stay there. Like, but just kind of touching more on Anna and everything. But yeah, and then I ended up getting into the Marine Corps. I was PTing all the time with the recruiter there, with some students. Pretty much all of them. I don't know. I think the only one that is doing. There's two people that are doing well. I think Zeke's doing really well, and Anderson. Everybody else, Maitland too. He's doing really well. I actually went to boot camp with him. We shipped out together. So, but yeah, we either all did our 4 years and got out, or some got kicked out. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I went along and went to the Marine Corps. But before I did that, I still got some more. I somehow got another phone, and I forgot. I think Anna gave me another phone because I threw the other one away. Shit was getting crazy. They were searching me all the time. I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to chill. And so I did. I chilled, and somehow Anna got me another. No, wait. Yeah, Anna. No, actually, sorry. Let me think. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we ended up passing notes or something, and I let her know somehow that I was shipping out to boot camp on this date, and I was going to Kansas City, and I was staying in this hotel. And so the very last day that I was there, she drove all the way to Kansas City, and that's like 2.5 hours, I think, from Stockton. And she ended up staying in this hotel, and I ended up, messing around with her and stuff, of course. I went there just to do that, and then she had a burner phone that she would talk to me on too. And I said, give me that phone. I need to use that. And I used it all the way up until I went to boot camp. But I fucked her, and then I said, look, Anna, don't ever talk to me again. What we were doing was completely wrong, and you know it.
Was she remarried at the time, or was she seeing somebody, or
No,
no?
no.
Okay.
I think she was still with Scott. Sorry with the damn
That's
chihuahuas.
fine.
God, they're not mine, but yeah, so I forgot if they got a divorce after I went to boot camp or before. But what we did was wrong, and I said, look, what we did was wrong. I honestly didn't want any more than sex with you. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I wanted to do, and so the best thing for you to do is just to not talk to me anymore, just to move on and forget about me, because this is not what you think it was. Because she was asking me to like marry her, and she was asking to come to my boot camp graduation, and I was like, look, that's not. You need to just like forget about everything, honestly, because this is not what you think it is. This is. I just wanted to fuck you. That's all I wanted to do.
Well, when you think about it, if you did get together with her, what makes you think she wouldn't be sleeping with another guy while you were, you know, shipped off? You
Yeah,
know?
and she's like that too because she literally like I've heard stories about her screwing other students. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, so I like pretty much told her to fuck off, and I went there, fucked her, told her to fuck off. She gave me her phone. I used the phone until I went to boot camp because I didn't have one. And yeah, like I went to boot camp and I felt bad that I was like such a douchebag, and so I called and apologized. But that was pretty much it, you know. I don't know, and she ended up texting me after boot camp on Facebook, and she still tried to get with me, and she was married to some other dude already, talking to some
See
other
what I
dude.
mean?
Exactly. So I don't know. It was crazy. I also heard that she was fucking around with Renee. He's a dude that worked on the ranch. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, whatever. But she messed around with him, and that was like a week after I left or something. And I don't know if he was 18 or not, but we were around the same age, so I'm pretty sure he might have been 18 already. But yeah, so she was doing that. But yeah, honestly, that's pretty much the extent of what happened.
Yeah.
She's crazy chick, man. She's fucked up in the head. So
It's all those years of being at that place, man.
it is,
Being caught up
yeah.
in that cult screws your mind up.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
really does. And for a while, it screwed my mind up too
I mean,
after getting out.
this. What was her ex-husband's name? Scott, you said.
hmm
Yeah. How old was he? Was he like in his 40s? I think she
I
married him when he was older, right?
Yeah. So the story behind that was basically they were messing around in the kitchen or something like that too, and she ended up getting pregnant, and
Oh,
so they were like, now you have to marry each other.
ah,
So they ended up being forced to marry each other. They're 10 years apart though.
yeah.
So
Thank goodness it wasn't you.
yeah. Oh, dude. But I'm not done, man. Like I know what I'm doing, like. And these motherfuckers, man, they like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Like I know how to fuck, and it's like, dude, you're pregnant within the first year you get out of that school. You don't know what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
And the thing
But
is, I guess I have to say allegedly, but allegedly some of the staff at Agape were diddling around with some of the girls at Refuge of Grace or Wings of Faith, whatever it is now. You
Sheesh.
know, and they sweep that under the rug. But
Mm-hmm.
yet, with you and Anna, and you weren't caught, but you kind of were, but they couldn't prove it, and all hell breaks loose. You know what that makes? You know what I mean?
Right?
They take care of their own, and the ones that they can't
Exactly.
take care of, they ostracize like they did on Anna. Got rid of her.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, so speaking of that place being a cult, and one of those dudes that actually was doing that, he worked in the dorm, and he did kind of look like a cracked out motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. I never really had issues with him. He did seem like he was on the weird side, but yeah, he was one of those dudes that did it. That was talking to I don't know what it was, the fascination of talking to those Refuge of Grace girls. They're. I think the one thing that was so fascinating about it is that they were so hopeless. No offense to those girls. I'm not saying they're hopeless now. Some of them are not hopeless, and they're doing amazing things. But it seems like a trend of this cult of preying on these young people,
sure.
these young hopeless people.
And it could be girls that were probably abandoned by their parents, or the parents really didn't pay attention to them, so they wanted somebody to pay attention to them. So
Exactly.
here comes this creep, who's actually paying attention to him, and
Exactly.
maybe not that he was he wasn't a Fabio or anything like that, but he was like I said, talking to him, paying attention to him, so and they liked that, and maybe one thing led to another, and they ended up doing it and saying, oh, what did I do, but
Yeah.
it's called grooming, is what it's called. When you're grooming, when the predator grooms the victim. You
It's
know what I
so
mean?
weird, man.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it seemed like he was the one that was harping on movies for a while. Basically, we would be watching these action movies or whatever, and they had this program to where it would blurt out bad things or whatever they would say. And we liked that because it was a nice compromise, so we could watch normal people movies
right.
and enjoy it while they get the satisfaction of blurting out the bad words, which is kind of stupid, but whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever. We got our compromise, blah, blah, blah. We started watching some cool movies, like Batman and just all the new movies that are coming out. We watched all of that stuff. And at some point, he complained so much about that, that it was just so unholy that we ended up like not watching that stuff again, and we were only allowed to watch like the corny Disney bullshit movies over and over again, the same thing, and it was
yeah,
like, and he was the reason why. And I asked him one day, and I was like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And he's like, "Because it's just so," and he was just so hell bent on his mindset for some reason that was the only right way. And that's pretty much the way that cult works, is that their personal conviction is the only right way and all that crazy stuff. And it's so you get brainwashed. You do. No matter who you are, if you stay there for a long period of time, it's the same thing all the time, every day. You get brainwashed, and you get really like, I don't know. It's like scar tissue, man. And like, you pretty much have a tissue over what reality really is. And you just get so sucked into this religion.
sure.
It's bullshit,
They put blinders on you, so all you can
Yeah.
see. Yes,
Yeah, and they really slander these other people that don't do what they do.
conform to
And
their ways. Yeah,
yeah, and it's pretty sad, how bad they would talk about people that women that wore pants, people that listen to normal music. They talk so bad about him, and they wish so bad on him. It just really, I don't know. it's horrible, you know, how they treated people.
Yeah.
So, but
It's kind of like one of those "do as I say, not as I do" type of things, you know. So
exactly.
to be a fly on the wall in some of the staff members' homes. You know, maybe they watch porn. You know, maybe they're one. You know, maybe one of the guys in the gimp suit with the codpiece and the ball gag, and she's in the back. You know, you don't
Who
know.
knows,
I
man?
mean, there's some weird fuckers, man. Let me tell
They
you.
are.
You know,
They're super weird,
yeah,
weird
yeah.
dudes. Yeah.
You know, Hey,
And that's
here,
exactly
honey.
why.
Here, honey. Here's the sheep costume. I'll put on the shepherd costume. You know that kind of stuff. That's
Yeah, like, damn, dude, you never know what the hell's going on.
exactly.
Um, the main thing with this school, though, what I saw is that this whole thing is just a facade. You know, like, oh, look at me, I'm holy. But then they basically take all this money that they're getting, and I don't know, we could do some quick math right here. Let's just say there's 250 students, and I don't, what's tuition
Was it like
there?
32, 35, or something like that? 3,500 a
Okay,
month?
so let's just be conservative here. 30,000 times 250. That's $7,500,000 that they're getting just off of tuition from students. They get, so
That's not
they're getting
counting
seven.
donations and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Exactly. So that's not even including donations, all this stuff. So these people are getting 7 million a year off of these students, and they're abusing. They're doing all this stuff. They're, there's just so much stuff they're doing. It's like we couldn't eat what we've been on for an hour and a half, and we like this was just touching on all the stuff that happened there and touching on the stuff that everybody wanted to know, of course. But yeah, so there's so much stuff that I skipped over that I could probably go into in a part two, maybe,
Sure.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get another student on and I could be a guest, whatever, and we could talk about something else other than Anna, but that would be nice. But yeah, so they get that much money, but then what they do is they put this stuff, all the stuff they want, under Agape's name, but it's a nonprofit, and that's how
Right.
nonprofits work. So you got to be careful about investing in these people, whether it's Agape or not. They could be scamming you. They could be making an LLC like Agape, and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put this RV," which the RV was under Agape's name, which I've been in.
Yeah.
They put that RV under Agape's name, and it's like that's pretty fucked up, man. That's probably like a $250,000, maybe even a $500,000 RV, and you're putting it in Agape's name. You're using these students' tuition for that, which I've probably been the only student in that damn RV. I got lucky enough to do that. So.
There you go, in the RV.
Yeah, I had a lot of trust there at some point. So, but now I'm not even allowed there anymore. So,
Well, lucky you.
yeah, I don't need to go back to that fucking place.
It did you a favor. Don't ever come back.
Who needs to go to Missouri anyways?
Right? When they say don't come back, it's like, hey, don't threaten me with a good time. Damn
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Yeah, man, but life is really good now.
That's good.
It's really good. Living in Southern California, have the most beautiful weather here. I'm going to school. I did my 4 years in the Marine Corps honorably. Everything's good. So,
Where did you get shipped off to?
So I went to San Diego, California for boot camp. After that, I went to Camp Pendleton for some combat training. Then I went to North Carolina for some job training. Then after that, I went to Okinawa, Japan, which was such a fun time. Let loose for a little bit, had some fun there, and then came back to Southern California. and I've been here ever since. And yeah, it's been a great time in the military. The military is not my thing. You know, it's great for people that get out of Agape. It's definitely somewhere to start. You
Right.
know, I highly recommend if there's students out there that are questioning, you know, what I should do, blah blah blah. Go into the military, you know. But just make sure you behave, because if you don't behave, then you won't get your honorable discharge, you know, and you won't
Yeah.
be set up for a successful life, college paid for, all that stuff, maybe even medical care, depending on whatever your situation is. But yeah, I've definitely moved on from that place.
Well, thank you for serving, though. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem. It's my pleasure, you know, and I have to thank you guys for supporting all the taxpayers paying their taxes. Thank you, because that was my paycheck, that was my equipment. If you pay your taxes or not, whatever, that's on you. But you know, for those who did, I appreciate you paying your taxes for me, for my paycheck that I was getting in the military. So and supporting me. So, but yeah,
Happy to do it, Trey. Happy to do it.
absolutely,
Well, thank you, Trey, for being on. This was
no problem.
enjoyable and riveting and wild, and it was great.
Yeah. I hope everybody enjoys it too.
Yeah, and what I usually do is I do a thing called talk sessions, where we get a whole bunch of guys, and we just talk about time at Agape, you know. So, hello. Okay, you go.
Yeah. You broke up for a
That's-
second. You
that's
said
right.
what we were gonna do, and then
Oh
you
well,
broke up.
we usually have what's called talk sessions, where we get a
Okay.
bunch of people together from Agape and just have like a rap session, you know, just talk about times there. So,
Sure.
there's probably going to be another one coming up. I'll let you know if you want to come on.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Just let me know.
It's the same link, you know. So just use the same link that you got,
All right.
and yeah, we'll get you on, man. You get to see.
Yeah.
some-
Sounds good.
I'll see if I can get
I'll-
Cody on. You said you went to
Cody.
Cody Canifax.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Get him on and a couple other guys, and definitely,
Yeah.
man.
Get like Columbo on there.
Sure.
I think there's some Riley. He's cool. I really like him. We have a lot of good times with him. Man, yeah, there's a lot of people that would be interesting to have on, because I can't remember everything that happened. Those are the main things that I remember. But I guarantee you, if somebody was talking, I could like say,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, this happened one
Oh
time."
yeah, every session, you know, some guy will say, "Hey, do you remember when?" And then say, "Oh, I forgot about that." Yeah. So yeah, it all comes back out, you know, and everybody brings back times, you know.
Yeah.
To kind of
4 years of knowledge packed in this head, man, of Agape
Yeah.
shit. So
give
yeah.
Agape a couple of light jabs, you know, do some sarcasm, do some comedy, that kind of stuff. So
That
Yeah.
place sucks, man. That place sucks. I
Yep.
hope
Yeah.
100% to God, I hope that place gets shut down. Not because of, because of the anger that I have towards that place, but I don't want all this shit to happen to another kid again. This is whoever. I know I'm cussing and I know I look a little rough maybe. That's because I've been in the military and that's because I went through that place. For all those parents watching this stuff, you need to take your kid out now, okay? That place is no bueno. That place is bad. If you're thinking about sending your kid there, don't. There's like wilderness programs. There's all kinds of other stuff that you could do. You could even just try to be a better parent. I don't know. But yeah, please do not send your kid to any of these schools in Utah, Missouri, anywhere.
Florida.
These places
that
are
kind of
bad.
stuff.
They're all connected in some way. They're all run the same way. Don't do it. So
All right. Stay on the line for a second, Trey,
absolutely.
and I'm going to end the podcast here. I want to thank
Yeah.
everybody for watching. I want to thank Trey for coming on and telling his story, riveting as it was. It was great. Enjoyed it thoroughly. All right, so for the Hammer Podcast, I'm Jason. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. If you want to support the podcast, please subscribe to the channel. Also have a little PayPal link if you want to do a little donating. I'd never say no to that kind of stuff. So, but like I said, take care of yourself, take care of each other. We'll see you next time in the other podcast.